in the town of Mansoul. I will leave off now to chide, and will not further rebuke you. But I charge you that henceforwards you let me see no more such actions. Let not henceforward a man of you, without order first obtained from me, so much as show his head over the wall of the town of Mansoul. You have now heard me. Do as I have commanded, and you shall cause me that I dwell securely with you, and that I take care, as for myself, so for your safety and honour also. Farewell. Now were the townsmen strangely altered. They were as men stricken with a panic fear. They ran to and fro through the streets of the town of Mansoul, crying out, "Help! Help! The men that turn the world upside down are come hither also." Nor could any of them be quiet after. But still, as men bereft of wit, they cried out, "The destroyers of our peace and people are come." This went down with Diabolus. "Ah," quoth he to himself, "this I like well. Now it is as I would have it. Now you show your obedience to your prince. Hold you but here, and then let them take the town if they can." Well, before the king's forces had sat before Mansoul 3 days, Captain Boanerges commanded his trumpeter to go down to Eargate, and there, in the name of the great Shaddai, to summon Mansoul to give audience to the message that he, in his master's name, was to them commanded to deliver. So the trumpeter, whose name was Take Heed What You Hear, went up, as he was commanded, to Eargate, and there sounded his trumpet for a hearing. But there was none that appeared that gave answer or regard, for so had Diabolus commanded. So the trumpeter returned to his captain, and told him what he had done, and also how he had sped. Whereat the captain was grieved, but bid the trumpeter go to his tent. Again Captain Boanerges sendeth his trumpeter to Eargate, to sound as before for a hearing. But they again kept close, came not out, nor would they give him an answer. So observant were they of the command of Diabolus their king. Then the captains and other field officers called a council of war, to consider what further was to be done for the gaining of the town of Mansoul. And, after some close and thorough debate upon the contents of their commissions, they concluded yet to give to the town, by the hand of the forenamed trumpeter, another summons to hear. But if that shall be refused, said they, and that the town shall stand it out still, then they determined, and bid the trumpeter tell them so, that they would endeavour, by what means they could, to compel them by force to the obedience of their king. So Captain Boanerges commanded his trumpeter to go up to Eargate again, and, in the name of the great King Shaddai, to give it a very loud summons to come down without delay to Eargate, there to give audience to the king's most noble captains. So the trumpeter went and did as he was commanded. He went up to Eargate and sounded his trumpet, and gave a third summons to Mansoul. He said, moreover, that if this they should still refuse to do, the captains of his prince would with might come down upon them, and endeavour to reduce them to their obedience by force. Then stood up my lord Will-be-will, who was the governor of the town. This Will-be-will was that apostate of whom mention was made before, and the keeper of the gates of Mansoul. He therefore, with big and ruffling words, demanded of the trumpeter who he was, whence he came, and what was the cause of his making so hideous a noise at the gate, and speaking such insufferable words against the town of Mansoul. The trumpeter answered, I am servant to the most noble captain, Captain Boanerges, general of the forces of the great King Shaddai, against whom both thyself, with the whole town of Mansoul, have rebelled, and lift up the heel. And my master the captain hath the special message to this town, and to thee, as a member thereof, the which if you of Mansoul shall peaceably hear, so, and if not, you must take what follows. Then said the Lord Will-be-will, I will carry thy words to my lord, and will know what he will say. But the trumpeter soon replied, saying, Our message is not to the giant Diabolus, but to the miserable town of Mansoul. nor shall we at all regard what answer by him is made, nor yet by any for him. We are sent to this town to recover it from under his cruel tyranny, and to persuade it to submit, as in former times it did, to the most excellent King Shaddai." Then said the Lord Will-be-will, "I will do your errand to the town." The trumpeter then replied, "Sir, do not deceive us, lest in so doing you deceive yourselves much more." He added moreover, "For we are resolved, if in peaceable manner you do not submit yourselves, then to make a war upon you, and to bring you under by force. And of the truth of what I now say, this shall be a sign unto you. You shall see the black flag with its hot burning thunderbolts set upon the mount to-morrow, as a token of defiance against your prince, and of our resolutions to reduce you to your lord and rightful king." So the said Lord Will-be-will returned from off the wall, and the trumpeter came into the camp. When the trumpeter was come into the camp, the captains and officers of the mighty King Shaddai came together to know if he had obtained a hearing, and what was the effect of his errand. So the trumpeter told, saying, "When I had sounded my trumpet, and had called aloud to the town for a hearing, my Lord Will-be-will, the governor of the town, and he that hath charge of the gates, came up when he heard me sound, and, looking over the wall, he asked me what I was, whence I came, and what was the cause of my making this noise. So I told him my errand, and by whose authority I brought it. Then, said he, I will tell it to the governor and to Mansoul, and then I returned to my lords. Then said the brave Boanerges, Let us yet for a while lie still in our trenches, and see what these rebels will do. Now when the time drew nigh that audience by Mansoul must be given to the brave Boanerges and his companions, it was commanded that all the men of war throughout the whole camp of Shaddai should as one man stand to their arms and make themselves ready, if the town of Mansoul shall hear, to receive it forthwith to mercy, but if not, to force a subjection. So the day being come, the trumpeters sounded, and that throughout the whole camp, that the men of war might be in a readiness for that which then should be the work of the day. But when they that were in the town of Mansoul heard the sound of the trumpets throughout the camp of Shaddai, and thinking no other but that it must be in order to storm the corporation, they at first were put to great consternation of spirit. But after they a little were settled again, they also made what preparation they could for a war, if they did storm, else to secure themselves. Well, when the utmost time was come, Boanerges was resolved to hear their answer, wherefore he sent out his trumpeter again to summons Mansoul to a hearing of the message that they had brought from Shaddai. So he went and sounded, and the townsmen came up, but made ear-gate as sure as they could. Now when they were come up to the top of the wall, Captain Boanerges desired to see the Lord Mayor, but my Lord Incredulity was then Lord Mayor, for he came in the room of my Lord Lustings. So Incredulity came up and showed himself over the wall. But when the Captain Boanerges had set his eyes upon him, he cried out aloud, This is not he! Where is my Lord Understanding, the ancient Lord Mayor of the town of Mansoul? For to him I would deliver my message. Then said the giant, for Diabolus was also come down, to the captain, Mr. Captain, you have by your boldness given to Mansoul at least 4 summonses to subject herself to your king, by whose authority I know not, nor will I dispute that now. I ask therefore, what is the reason of all this ado, or what would you be at if you knew yourselves? Then Captain Boanerges, whose were the black colours, and whose scutcheon was the 3 burning thunderbolts, taking no notice of the giant or of his speech, thus addressed himself to the town of Mansoul. Be it known unto you, O unhappy and rebellious Mansoul, that the most gracious King, the great King Shaddai, my master, hath sent me unto you with commission, and so he showed to the town his broad seal, to reduce you to his obedience, and he hath commanded me, in case you yield upon my summons, to carry it to you as if you were my friends or brethren,